Prospect. You already know the vibes. Yo, when I do videos sometimes, I speak to the energies, right? So it don't be nothing. Most of the time when I'm building, I'll say if it's something particularly, about a circumstance that I'm dealing with if I'm building about it. But I'll be passionate because that's who I am as an individual. Like I'm super passionate, you know what I'm saying? So the energies, especially when I'm on a topic, I'm going to get passionate about it. But that doesn't mean that topic is specifically about what I'm dealing with. I'm real enough to speak it if that's what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like the energy be so like poof, you know what I'm saying? Like you just feel that vibe. And I think that's what cancers are capable of doing, making you feel what we getting across in a way that you have to feel it. So even if if it's not relevant to your situation, you feel that shit regardless, and you like, whoa, that's powerful. You know what I'm saying? Well, just because we can do that in this space of time, right? The whole universe is set up like this. You're gonna see why I'm about to take this shit to an ill left turn. The universe is set up like this. You know what I'm saying? And for the most part, there's other particular energies that can sway you into an energy within your existence when you coming across them. I don't got to speak on them, you know. I'm just using me as an example. That's why I said cancer. So you may deal with a family member or a grandparent, you know what I'm saying? And they deal with you real close, you know what I mean? And y'all have like this level of somebody showing you like that's your OG or your grandmom or somebody. They showing you, they giving you knowledge, like they making sure you got the thought pattern of how you need to get from point A to point B, no matter what the circumstance is. That's the shit you carry with you that helps you formulate the way you think. And then they pass on. And when they die something, if you was hard-headed before they died, it's going to be hard for you to get stuff now. You know what I'm saying? So if they send you messages and they trying to connect to you, if you didn't listen to them when they was here, you not caring much about them while they gone, because they gone physically. When in fact, it should still be, in some retrospect, that you are communicating with them as if they were still here. Not openly, like, you know, normal life, like if you met somebody else, but in the thought, in the remembrance, in the energy that they connected to you. It's like keeping that plugged in, that they gone, but these specific words, the specific energy that was given to you to be in a better situation is the tether connection that you grab hold and walk through in your, like when you're going through life, you use that instead of your own thinking. So now you plugging in from the other side. When it helps you, sit down in your personal time and give thanks. Tell them, talk to them. You know what I mean? Be like, yo, look, I remember when you schooled me on that. You know, and you by yourself when you're doing this. You tell them like, yo, I remember when you schooled me on that. But, you know, you passed on, but you ain't gone, because I'm still holding on. You know what I'm saying, Bars? I'm still holding on to what you gave me, right? And it's in every aspect, you know what I mean? Like, there's different things, and we kind of stay trying to live within our own mind, you know what I'm saying? And it's nothing wrong with that if you're already on the right path. Who knows what your path is? Only you do. You know what I'm saying? You know by the actions and things that take place in life, what you making your own decision. If it go good and you always thinking like this, then stay on that, because it's taking you somewhere. If it don't work for you the way you thinking, you know what I'm saying? You always find yourself in a situation, you know what? You need guidance. So you need to take the guidance that's coming to you, giving you that light to, you know, move where you got to go, you know? It doesn't matter if the physical body is here. You understand what I'm saying? It don't matter if the physical body is here. You stay connected to your ancestors. See, I ain't speaking nothing new. These is processes that was already, I'm speaking a definition of processes that already exist. That people categorized in different understandings to make you stay away from it. Because better believe, before you was even able to speak a language, you was dealing on feeling. They speak on this heavenly, how before people had language, they had to communicate with feeling. So we don't even have much of the knowledge on that, because you know what, was nothing need to be written. And we can tell that this civilization that we at is way less. If you wanna add physical, okay, physical. Like, you know what I'm saying? But what they say is nothing new under the sun, right? So there's a remake in a lighter form, because there's structures still standing from eon ago. You know what I'm saying? So somebody was building something way more stronger. We don't want to talk about technology and get lost. Only thing I'm saying is the purpose of which one came is still the connection. It's the bridge. It's the draw from here to there. And if you carry a light in you, that light is in you to attract that knowledge or to give you purpose. So you had the light before you understood you had the light. That's why somebody was giving you knowledge to protect you, to make sure you came up through this. They wanted to give you the best understanding of things. So as that young light, you absorbed a lot of energy. And as you get older, you start to use it to protect yourself, to protect things that you create, places you go, other people that you got love for. That needs that respect and understanding that it came from that. Who tells those people that, yo, I got this from that? I listen to my old heads. I'm still connected to them. Who does that? See, people get lost in the sauce and you don't even understand that your life is your scripture every day, but you rather read about somebody else's perception. I ain't knocking nobody's story, because I read too. But when I read, and I said this in one of my other videos, when I read, I'm only reading to see from the point of view of another individual. I'm not absorbing that. What I look like, I'm me. I throw myself away absorbing somebody else's energy like, yeah, what they talking is law. I'll be whole crazy to do something like that. That kind of automatically excludes you from being or having a purpose. Don't forget, you are holding the book, reading it. But that written information was wrote down by a perception seen by another individual lesser or equal to your value. So what does that speak about you? It ain't hard to break down the science and understand indifference. So I'm not going to throw away eons of life that my family lived, my ancestors lived, knowing that I touched or got a piece of some of that knowledge for somebody who give me some knowledge in a book. I'm not going to do nothing like that. I'm going to look towards my family and the essences that they gave me, because that's where I come from. Where you come from? You know what I'm saying? Where you come from? Or you going to read me a quote from a book or some dude you never met? I don't knock it, man. Everybody want to feel good about understanding something. Well, the most power you can get is understanding where you came from and who you connected to. And that's what people really looking for. It's almost like when you're dealing with people in the street who got like daddy issues or whatever, or mommy issues, and they come off hard in a different way. Really, them niggas need a hug. And you be seeing that, like, yo, you need some love. You know what I'm saying? That's why you mad. You know what I mean? So then, what's the retrospect or the mirror image to a person that's always seeking ancient history or something to connect themselves when they start calling themselves different names and stuff like that? You looking to seek connection to your ancestors. That's really what niggas want to know. They want to know who they are and where they come from. Everybody who do conscious knowledge, they basis. They really want to know where the hell I come from, how many people I'm connected to, how far I go back. That's like in the back of niggas' minds. They be like, yo, I bet you I'm connected to the kings. I bet you I was the nephew of some Tutankhamun or some whatever, somebody name. Niggas be feeling it like, yo, I bet you, because I'm the man out here. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. I'm just saying niggas need to quit bullshit. And you got to start by connecting. Back in the day, people was talking about opening your Akashic records and getting all the information from the past. How you think you're going to do that unless you accessing your ancestors? How you think you're going to get into those Akashic records unless you accessing your ancestors? because that's the mind of the DNA that formulated you. So the other piece of the mind that would take you to a time past, it has to be within your ancestors where you came from. That ain't rocket science, it's common sense. So how you going to tap into that if you're not tapping into the lessons that they gave you? So you see, it's like friction, right? And vibration. So if I start running back and forth up and down the street, it's like you always see me there. So you start expecting me because you always see me there. So the more I do, the expectation becomes a no. And the more you know is what? Then you move different, right? So I ain't got to do this to you. So if I keep connected with my ancestors and knowledge that they gave me from back in the day, you know what happens? More of what they left, it's not, the friction builds up. It starts to make a light bridge because I'm still accessing that knowledge to get me further. Mind you, already know that they passed on at a certain time of existence. So depending on how old your ancestors is and how far they go back, you might have ancestors in their late 90s, hundreds. They had knowledge. So you start connecting to that energy going back and forth. You know how long you're going to live past their age because you living off the knowledge they gave you? There's mathematics, energy, and vibrations. I'm trying to show you something. Trying to show you something. Always connect to your ancestors, man. Because your ancestors is going to be different than the next person's ancestors because of your perception of things. It's like everybody in Dragon Ball Z. Everybody can level up to Super Saiyan or go to whatever level, but you're going to do it in your own way. You know what I'm saying? Piccolo got power. Everybody going to get their own powers in their own way. You know what I'm saying? And that's how it's supposed to be. You're supposed to be getting it from the lineage you come from. But you got to go from where you come from. You got to walk where you came from. And you start from where you remember. That's the basis right there. Don't let nobody be having y'all all twisted in the mind. Get back to connected to the spirits. Your people that passed on. Understand who they was. Get a little bit of information. Try to get something meaningful that'll help you move to the next level because their level is already made in this physical understanding. So your job is to go further than that. So the only way you can do that unless you can manifest the knowledge somehow that they had. So you got to start with what you got. Your mom, your pops, your grandparents, your great-grandparents. Hopefully you can get to your great-great-grandparents and so forth and on. You know what I'm saying? You might even be able to slip to the left or right within the family and get a great uncle, great aunt that could tell you something directly about your grandparents or your great-grandparents. So then you get a little bit more knowledge, a little bit more feeling, a meaning of something, which carries you through an understanding. See, this is all understanding we live in. We project an understanding because you understand you're going to get up the next day. You project that. When you lay down, it's already, everybody has the same next morning projection. You see what I'm saying? So then they project this every day because you feel like this is what it's supposed to be. Until the projection gets weak and your comfortability with projection becomes a faster speed. So then the electricity, the life source goes to a higher place, which is the bridge over. It crosses over. That's what they don't understand. They want to put terms on stuff they don't really understand. Nah, the light has ran its course within this space. It's not such thing as die. The light goes up and down, 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 and it's getting friction. So the more it's getting friction, it's getting more energy. So that energy is doing two things in your body. It starts to grow it. And then as it gets to a certain point, it goes so fast, the body starts going back in time, but the flesh still gets old. That's why they say you 2 times a baby. That's why they call you 2 times a baby, because the energy now starts taking you and your mental back as the flesh is still getting old. Because that's the original energy that came in. You see what I'm saying? So you go up, minus to plus, plus back to minus. And when it hits that purpose, the energy is so bright at that point, it goes, makes an arc. It throws an arc and it lands over in a different time. Boom, just like that. Happens just like that. Everybody want to call all this other stuff. Nah, it arcs over. You got to understand your consciousness now and your subconscious now is more powerful than anything in the physical body. So most people get what they call super knocked out. You know what I'm saying? You can get super knocked out to where, we used to play games when we was young. We would stop a nigga heart. You can black out, boom. Come right back. Whoop. Like put your hands over your chest and push it in. And you see all the air and everything start coming back like boom, all at one time. Do the elevator, climb up until the joint get to you. You ain't got no oxygen. Everything stop. Boom, you drop. You know what I'm saying? Like, my understanding as a kid, we played different games. I'm talking about we was doing this when we was like in our one digit, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, you know what I'm saying, 14. Yo, you don't play knockout? Yeah, let's play knockout. Boom. You know, passed out. Nigga sweating and shit coming back. Like, what the fuck is that? F-bomb. Only thing I'm saying is being connected to the spirits is the way you're going to gain more knowledge about your personal characteristics and who you are as an individual. And see, what they doing is they allowing everything to cross over by mixing up the information. So therefore, you start looking towards other things to get your history. And when you start doing that, you actually confusing your spiritual purpose at that very moment. You confusing what you are with an acceptance. You just accepting it like, forget all the lineages of what I came from. I'ma choose this. So why not throw the baby with the bathwater? Toss the mop out with the mop bucket. And see, that's the understanding and understanding what takes place. So you gotta have a more respect and love for yourself and what you're trying to protect and hold on. So don't get it twisted. It ain't like they haven't been trying to rewrite or rename what original man was since the beginning of time to keep you confused about where you came from. That's been the overall job in the first place. So let me keep you blind. Let me keep you blind by giving you opportunities to feel comfortable with things that's not even relevant to who you are as an individual. We don't make this up. We just understand what's taking place. And people are going to fight against that and say, no, it's this, it's that, because this book says so. You don't even care about you enough to fight to find out where you came from because certain things that happen because the way they put the system in motion, the way people grew off oppression and different things, you still judging individuals by what happened to you. No, I can feel some type of way about personal things right in front of my face. But me holding a grudge about something, I can't do that. Especially when I got understanding, overstanding, and understanding about things. I got to know that before I put my feelings into something, these people was going through something too. And their time ain't as sweet as it is right now. Even though we going something, they went through something whole different. So I don't know what made the old heads go through this, have a mental pattern. What was their integrity like? What they had to live every day? What were they going through every day for them to turn out in certain ways before I judge why they did certain things the way I perceive things? And see, it's deep because you would rather go listen to another person's perception, but you would condemn somebody by the way you perceive things. See, it's fire, yo. It's fire. And when you really look at it and you say, yo, what am I doing? Because they gave me the wrong mechanics. You start realizing you're using the wrong mechanics to what you're trying to do every day. Like, wait a minute. What's even the purpose of that? The mathematics get crazy, and then you start seeing that people are really indoctrinated by eons of time. I can't look at that and say that's my history. I got to start seeing deeper within the person and learn where that quality came from. This takes studying. That's the real read. People quick to say, I read a book, I don't hate on books. But if you can't sit down and have understanding on both sides of the plane of existence, you ain't really studied yet. You still in kindergarten because you're reading from somebody else's story. You letting somebody kick a game to you. Yo, let me tell you what happened in this book right here. Yo, read first, chapter 7, 73. You know, I ain't mad at none of that. But your life is super important. And you need to learn mathematics and how you fall under the stars. How deep are you looking in the skies? How much time do you spend by yourself and understand who you are as an individual? Do you really know yourself, or are you still trying to mold yourself just to fit into certain situations? No, I'd rather not fit, because if me being around people has to take me out of my character, then you know what? You're going to be real uncomfortable. And everybody should be on that type time trying to fight to be who you are. Don't throw that away from nobody, because you know what? Everything that we knew about ourselves or what we're supposed to come has already been twisted around so many different ways. You know what I mean? You got to bring NAGA out to untake the braid. I'm just trying to show you some knowledge real quick. You already know the vibes. I ain't going to hold y'all. You know what I'm saying? You want me to break down your name? You know what I'm saying? You got to the end of this video. You want me to break down your name in mathematical form? The email will be in the description. I can show you your characteristic traits. You know what I mean? You want to send a cash app? something like that donation, I accept all donations. Cash App will be in the description. Holla at your boy. NAGA.